back to the command center. It has been a minute. Mainly because of the February daily content initiative has pushed me more in the direction of streaming or even getting videos out of my backlog and releasing those every day rather than recording new commentary. There's a lot, and this is more just going to be me going, yeah, this is a lot, there's a lot going on. There's ideas for at least 8 video ideas, and at least 4 of them could be relevant videos. So we're going to talk about today a little bit about how social media is compromised and has always been compromised. Social media has always been compromised, guys. So we're seeing a lot of talk about, hey, we need to move to BitChat. Hey, we need to migrate and start using Telegram, Session, Signal. Hey guys, let's move to Upscrolled. There are a few problems. We know for a while, we know that Elon is a proud member of the quote-unquote Epstein class, as we'll call it, even though he was initially rejected from any Eyes Wide Shut style kitty feast and festivals. Also hilarious. So Twitter hasn't been something of a shit show for a minute. It's something that is hardly usable. It's only good for advertising, and at this point we might have to find new platforms for that. We might have to double down on Meta. Meta's no good either. However, there is something of a illusion that Meta is a bit less bad. No, it's worse. They're spying on your internet activity through your Wi-Fi, and then they make opting out of this. They make policies for opting out of that data being used to being sold incredibly hard. They make the process of opting out of that data being used to train AI incredibly hard, and they make opting out of that entire surveillance ecoscape as hard as possible. Why does Facebook, why does my Meta account, the thing you gave me that I don't want, I just want a Facebook account and maybe an Instagram or WhatsApp account. Why does my Meta account, which is the thing that you've put in place that now governs all of these things, why does it have access to my unrelated scrolling, streaming, and internet browsing history? That's ridiculous. TikTok has now officially completed its conversion into TikTok M2. Before there was just there was Douyin TikTok and international TikTok / US TikTok. US / international TikTok is still that, but the initiative to transform it into TikTok M2, at least the operations side, is complete. What this means is there have been several policy changes that basically change the way that TikTok can interact with someone's data. TikTok can now legally, whether you opt out or not, train your data. They can now submit any personal data you submit on that platform to surveillance companies, and as we know, surveillance companies such as Persona and Palantir are working and contributing to something called Project Shadow, which is one of many initiatives to start building profiles, social profiles on everybody to efficiently track and predict whether you'll become an enemy of the state, and then surveil you and possibly harm you in a extrajudicial manner. So they want to know what you're buying, what you're scrolling. They want to know they definitely want to know who you've been fucking. For some reason, they want to know if they can exploit any mental or emotional illnesses. They want to know everything about you, not to better protect you, but to first be able to disappear you, and second be able to advertise to you. It's just how it goes. If something is free, you have to figure out how you are the product, because when something is free, you are the product. Sometimes in the realm of not surveillance, that's completely fine. Your time, your energy is completely fine being sold. But when we are looking at the mechanics of that equation, who's selling, who's buying, and for what purposes, and it's almost always metrics, data, and sometimes if you just want some basic data about usage of your product, that's okay. You should be able to collect that. But when you want someone's personal data, this is obviously a problem. TikTok, compromise. Twitter, compromise. Meta, compromise. Tumblr, capitulation to the growing internet puritanical culture, removing its porn, or at least officially removing its porn in all official capacities. Although you can still find porn on Twitter if you know where and how to look. Compromised. Shit, upscrolled, which everybody, including myself, was very interested in as a viable TikTok alternative. It's already compromised. They're removing trans users, people talking about trans and trans, non-binary, and generally talk of gender. People removing Palestinian action activists, censoring Palestinian families who at this point have to become just about every Palestinian or a relative of like Palestinian in Gaza or relative of Palestinian in Gaza who might have some sort of internet access or have close family with internet access are becoming digital panhandlers, because essentially the world does not care, because the world is afraid of Israel, and the world is afraid of Israel not because Israel is rich and has their hands in every cookie, not only has their hands in every cookie jar, but also has photos and videos and blackmail material of everybody else also in the same cookie jars, but also because they'll just nuke anybody. They'll just nuke everybody if they ever feel truly threatened. That's why no one is doing anything about this. Cuba, before the blockade, would have done something about this. China is posturing like they want to do something about this. They clearly don't. Africa is too busy being exploited by China and everybody else, well, attempting to fight off Western influence while letting China exploit them. Also, big ups on finding all those precious metals. To do something about it. People, there are entities that want to try to do something about it. They're being suppressed because, well, the most powerful country in the world, low key, is a illegitimate state that exists to propagate anti-Semitism. They exist. They want people to become incredibly anti-Semitic because hate against Jewish people validates their existence. Validates their own existence. See, you could come here and not have to worry about anti-Semitism only to get over there and realize that there is a class of borderline atheistic, if not full atheistic, Zionists who hate the guts of actual Jewish people, even Jewish Zionists, and will abuse them and hate crime them. It's happening over there. Not that information is being suppressed because it's not making too much. It's not making enough noise, and it's not useful to the narratives. So, back to social media. YouTube has been compromised. Everywhere is compromised. Unfortunately. Where do we go? What do we do? There is no clear-cut answer, clear-cut way forward, other than resist. And in terms of social media, in terms of news platforms, you can't afford to trust anything without thorough verification. We have to vet. We cannot afford to not put up a fight and not resist by existing, but we also need to get more active. That's what I've been saying. Hey, we can't sit at home. A lot of people say that's not my business. I got work tomorrow. Whatever. They are going to bring it to your doorstep. In some cases, when everything is going on in the world is burning down. Rather than kill or arrest the pedophiles and destabilize and risk destabilization in certain areas, the world, as in societies of the world, would rather destroy themselves. Because just to hop back on the Kid Diddler cabal, it's not just a U.S. thing. We just have uncovered the U.S. side of the operation. It's a global thing. It's happening in every country. Now, whether your country has had an investigation into your wing, your local branch of the guns and the guns, cannibalism, and pedophilia fucking fan club, your local chapter, relatively. I think everyone should be paying attention. Because immediately everyone's like, hey, well, the other countries have unredacted Epstein files. That's good. Keep those. Release those. But where's yours? Everyone is like, because the news cycle and the general mind control being used by the media in terms of abusing our collective cultural trauma at the fact of all these horrible things are going on, it works on misdirecting you, making you feel strong emotions, and then using your strong emotions to misdirect you, or wearing you down until you feel nothing. Either way, cycle continues. To disrupt the cycle, we need consistent counter operations and counter action. On the community level, there's nothing we can do but help ourselves and each other. Once multiple communities are able to help themselves and each other, they're gonna reach out to start helping their neighbors on a scale, and of course the scale expands. Of course, the nature of this is persistence. More than us than them, and we are in a position which will allow us to live longer and resist more consistently. That's enough rambling for now. We have to remember to protect ourselves by showing empathy. The thing they decry as a sin because it does not fit their narrative. Reach out, help others, help others. We have to organize, educate before we start to mobilize. I'm not saying arm your neighbors with shotguns, although you should arm your neighbors with shotguns. What I'm saying is make sure everyone is fed. People got coats this season. Everyone has shoes, coats, food, and a warm place to stay before we start getting into, hey, let's make sure we can start growing food and stuff. Just the normal shit. It's another case of the world is burning down. Let's have our fire extinguishers out and at the ready. This is your reminder to keep it locked. right here on RyderKickProductions and watch for the signal. I like doing these commentary videos. I like when the editing is a little tighter, and I do like when it's less of a yap. But the people who are listening and interacting, they love the yap. So it does give me a bit of peace of mind. There may or may not be more coming very soon. I have this going. I would like to have another video of this nature. I'd like to sit down and record another one today. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. All that being said, I'll see you when I see you. February is over in a few days, and this video probably going up way after February, but I do have to bring it up. New YouTube uploads or simul streams to Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube every day of February. I have not missed a day. I have not missed a day. If I missed a day, it's only because it happened after midnight, and while that would technically be another day, not really, because the previous day technically had a stream that went on at midnight. That it's a bit of a technicality, but I have not missed a day. And you can check because these streams are public. The only time the stream is not public is when I have to pull it down because of something problematic that was said or done by another player, or if we play other games and I plan to make one-shots of those other games. Those are the only time streams are not available. The stream VODs are available on YouTube and Twitch. I would much prefer you watch them on Twitch. Although if you want to look at them on YouTube, feel free to. First week of March is going to be very busy for me because Scrub streams will return, and they'll return for at least 3 weeks before going on hiatus. We're also playing the Punisher every Tuesday night from around 10:30 to midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock. We went until 3 last week. I really didn't like that. Playing the Punisher. And I do like the weekly collabs. It's not something I want to do I don't want to be third seat all the time, but it is fun to do so. And it's a long time coming. So please check that out on the news. I'll see you when I see you. Let me get this together. Kamen